corn flavored. I said corn flavored.
My sister's
Are you good?
roommate's boyfriend.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know who did that. I just woke up this morning and said that. Hey, you incorporated.
What up, guys? It's your boy Vic, and this is
Lawrence.
Xander.
Dimitri.
And this is not an exit. Today's host is gonna be Larry. Me? Larry. It's gonna be Larry.
It's always Larry.
But Larry,
Always been Larry.
All right,
what are we gonna talk about today?
we're gonna talk about a Playboy interview
What?
of John Wayne. Playboy.
I don't know how I feel about this.
You know who Playboy is.
If you don't know Playboy,
No,
if you
that's
know,
why. That's what I'm
you
saying. I don't
know.
know how I feel about this. But let's jump into it.
So this was of May of 1971.
That's old.
So take it. John Wayne would have been 64 years old at this time.
Hey, my mom was like 3. Okay, keep
So
going.
it's not even that long ago, honestly.
Dude,
Not even that long ago.
1971.
he was 20. Wait, when did we earn our rights?
When
did we?
Like,
We-
as in,
what do you mean
Native
we?
Americans.
Oh,
Alright.
The indigenous community.
I'm like, as in
He
segregation.
immediately got off topic.
Segregation didn't end that long ago, bro.
Oh, about 50 years after we
See what happens when he's
earned
not
citizenship.
The
All right, but an interview of Playboy of John Wayne in 1971. Keep going.
But I guess we're gonna stick to the parts of the interview where they talk about indigenous land and indigenous people in this interview.
Was it good?
You what?
Was it good?
Was he a good guy? No.
So there's speculation where it's saying that John Wayne was racist.
Was?
I don't know.
I mean,
It's hard to say though because, like I said, he played so many cowboy parts that he started to believe he was a fucking cowboy.
Wait, he
And
wasn't?
all cowboys are racist.
Huh.
He's just
well,
played-
he was born in 1907. So
That's
like,
enough
he
to be a
grew up.
cowboy. Did you grow up in the country?
He grew up in a. His son is claiming he grew up in a different time where his mindset was stuck in the ways of
Western
the old West.
ideology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything he was saying.
He was born before people were people.
Cowboys and Indians all day, every day.
Yes, sir.
So there's like a controversy because his family's like pro-Trump, and so they're saying don't take it into consideration their dad was racist. They're not like that anymore.
So anybody who's pro-Trump
But-
is racist.
Carry on the lineage. That's what they said.
Generalizing?
Yeah, I think that's making a
Wild statement.
yeah.
But in the interview,
But I'm just kidding. I'm just not gonna add a but to that.
but in the interview, they talk about like African American people. They talk about indigenous people. They talk about people of different sex and genders,
Yeah.
and he just rants on what he thinks.
Yeah.
But particularly, I think we should just stick to the part of indigenous reparations.
Why don't you tell me what he said and then I'll get mad.
Yeah. How about we figure out what he said first?
Okay, so one of the first questions is on indigenous land and taking the country. So Playboy asked the question.
What is Playboy doing asking these
Yeah, I was about to say, why is
questions?
Playboy giving this interview?
He got very political with this.
Yeah, in his 60s, right?
Yeah.
I've been trying to look back on it, but I mean, I can't really.
You don't have the spotlight.
You're not on camera right now.
I was wondering who was like the centerfold for Playboy in that issue.
Maybe good.
Let me see this. Let me see.
1971. That'd have been wild.
Give it to me. Give me the information.
What do you say?
So Playboy asked the question: for years, American Indians have played an important or insubordinate role in your westerns. How do you feel any empathy for these people? So his response is, I don't feel we did wrong in taking this great country away from them, if that's what you're asking. Our so-called stealing of this country from them was just a matter of survival for us. There were great numbers of people who needed new land, and the Indians were selfishly trying to keep it for themselves.
Yes, they're trying to survive by coming across the ocean to a fucking.
Because they got kicked out of their land.
Yeah.
Keep going. Just keep going.
And then she goes on, she's weren't the Indians, by virtue of prior possession, the rightful owners of this land? And he claims that, look, I'm sure there have been inequalities. Of those inequalities are presently affecting any of the Indians right now alive, they have a right to a court hearing. But what happened 100 years ago in our country can't be blamed on us today.
It's like that's like saying slavery no longer matters.
The slavery didn't happen because if we didn't do it, we have no.
I mean, never mind. I'm not saying anything of that sort should just be like thrown to the side, but I do believe that like holding the amount of like hardcore like grudge that we actually have towards all of that doesn't need to be like as strong. It's an important topic, yeah, but like keeping that and holding that hostage and just being like, yeah, I don't like you because of what your people did.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I wasn't even alive. Like, I'm only 20 years old, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect me as much as it would, like, my great-great-grandfather, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But like racism is like still alive today.
Oh, yeah,
You know?
Yeah,
for sure.
hardcore.
But that's like, I'm racist a little bit. But only towards white people. Why? I don't know. But
Because of your
I
ancestors.
mean-
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, clip that.
Yeah, clip that.
Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it. I don't care.
We're not gonna
Say it with my chest.
just clip out the only white people and just keep it pushing.
I'm racist.
Caucasians.
Sorry.
I break out a MAGA hat. I'm all, what'd you say?
What'd you say? Pulled out of nowhere.
But it's crazy he'd
Well,
say this
because
because like John Wayne was like a hero to most people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my grandma liked him.
Yeah.
Shout out my grandma.
She was native. She like, I don't know why.
John Wayne's teeth.
John Wayne, see ya, John Wayne, see ya.
That's what that.
That was actually really good. But you think a lot of people know he was racist, though?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Do you think he's
Picking
racist
the same
by
role
that
in
time?
every movie is kind of racist.
Well,
I wanna be
sometimes
the
you
white
can't.
boy that kills
I don't
white
think
lady.
Duke can play Native American.
Dude, you know how many white people they had playing Native Americans before they even had Native Americans coming on set?
Like Johnny Depp.
Dude, that's.
Taylor Lautner.
I'm pretty sure he's like not completely white. I'm pretty sure he's like
I think he's native.
Italian or something. Probably like.
Well,
He is
now
native.
he's
Cherokee.
a little Cherokee, yeah.
No, but like they actually did have like white people come in and play Indians. And, like they didn't do anything. They actually just played their voices backwards, and that was the language that they spoke.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that? I was actually in a cinema class last semester. We actually studied John Wayne, stuff like that.
With who?
What is his name? Old dude.
Okay.
Yeah, nah, I'm not going to remember the name. Anderson. Professor Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
But
Yeah.
are you gonna sneeze? What is that?
I'm like trying to figure out like what to say to this because this is just like a heavy topic.
Man, I do
I
get it.
don't necessarily think it's a heavy topic. I think during the time, like that was the normal. You know what I mean?
For him, like the way he grew up.
Because you definitely like you think about it. You go like Texas, boom, racism. And you go like boom, North Dakota, South Dakota. There's a bunch of natives up here, and there's a bunch of white people who like natives. You know what I mean?
Boom,
So it's
Oklahoma.
like yeah, Oklahoma.
Also race.
The in between land.
I think Kansas is pretty in between.
So like I think for the time being, I mean, like I said, it doesn't bother me because it wasn't affecting me. But
I'm not really bothered by anything that doesn't affect me personally.
yeah.
But I can see how people were very upset about what he said back then.
See, we could be like political partners, man. We could run for mayor as one.
What do you guys
To govern?
Democrats or Republicans?
Third
In the
party.
middle.
Yeah, third
Liberals?
party.
Freaking libs.
Third party. On the side.
Near north.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff is like we're holding grudges. I mean, they go, but
Well,
also,
people are oppressed.
yeah.
Like not only us, like African American people too. They were slaves too. You know what I mean? Like Asian people as well. They were slaves too.
Yeah.
But Native Americans actually had slaves too. So
Cherokees.
But we were also slaves.
yeah, we're slaves.
We let ours go.
I think our whole history.
What?
lucky.
It's just crazy.
I was just saying.
He said we let ours go.
Cherokee Nation, bro.
Talked us out of it.
The Cherokee Nation had slaves, and then they got moved out.
That's crazy.
That's why.
They changed our mind.
No, that's why a lot of native tribes hate Cherokees, because they like.
They had slaves.
No, they went like they adopted like white ways.
Having slaves.
Yeah, they adopted that, but they adopted white ways, and that's why most native tribes like hate them. They dislike them because
You
they're
know which
just so.
Cherokee you are. If you're like Oklahoma Cherokee, then that's valid. But if you're North Carolina Cherokee, I don't know about that.
They got money though. North Carolina Cherokees.
For real?
Oh, yeah. Like if I took that long walk too, I'd have some cash.
The North Carolinians didn't take that long walk. They stayed. That's why they have
It's
cash.
fine. They're still walking.
Clip that too. Clip that.
Let's just get rid of this whole.
No, I like this one. I
throw
like
out
this
the
one.
bud.
Keep going though.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question, she goes towards reservations, reparations, and Alcatraz.
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 So one of the questions
Alcatraz
is,
has to do
because it was the 70s,
What's that cowboy?
so that's the time
People
I
were
think
sent to
AIM
Alcatraz?
was at its peak point of reclaiming Alcatraz as their homeland.
No, that makes more sense.
This was in the 70s, so I think
I do remember
I
watching
think
the
this
video.
interview was like
I do
relevant
remember
to
they called it
the events of their
I
time.
do know what AIM means.
Black Ops 2.
I think.
American Indian.
No, that's not what I thought, man. I thought it was like point 10 or something.
I get to
You
the next
point with your
question.
lips, bro.
Over there. Over there.
I know some people that point with their hips. Over there.
Swing.
Who,
Hey,
Elvis? The only person I would know who does that.
That's what I was saying, yeah. Alright, keep going.
Could have kept that one. Should have kept it in the vault.
One of the questions, she says, Indians today are still being dehumanized on reservations. Because I'm quite sure that the concept of the government-run reservations would have an ill effect on anyone. But that seems to be what the socialists are working for now, to have everyone cared for from cradle to grave. But Indians on reservation are more neglected than cared for. Even if you accept principle of expropriation, don't you think a more human solution to the Indian problem could have been devised? And he
Well, if you
goes-
think about it, I tell everybody my reservation is like Wakanda, bro.
Untouched.
Yeah?
Minerals for days?
No.
Money.
Out, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
That's it. That's all we got.
But just say that as in like we have like our own government and stuff like that. There's definitely ways that we could take care of each other, but do we choose to? No.
What did John Wayne say?
That is true. But his comment towards that, if do you think more humane solutions to the Indian problem could have been devised? He said, this may come to a surprise to you, but I wasn't alive when reservations were created. Even if I do look that old, I have no idea what the best method for dealing with the Indians in the 1800s would have been. For our forefathers evidently thought they were doing the right thing of putting us on reservations.
Yeah, let's make him walk the trail of tears. Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. I mean, nah.
Basically, we're moved out and
Yeah.
At
forced
the
to
same time, it's
Oklahoma.
gotta have like a little bit of like
Everybody was forced to Oklahoma.
sympathy.
Pretty
You
much.
know what I'm saying? Like,
First down.
so whenever they were leaving their land, they were treated like they treated us the same way that they were treated. So it's like just learned habits.
Now, only if the natives had
Probably because
guns.
they thought like this is the only way because this is the only way.
This is
He's
how
talking
we
about
were
like,
taught.
was there a more humane way of doing so?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think we all agree on that. I mean, there isn't like doing all the things that they did, like taking our hair, our names, and our identities, and who we are, and trying to turn them completely 360. It's inhuman. You know what I mean, just putting us in a box and just being like, hey, yeah, this is
Yeah.
you now.
Well,
Don't
it's
speak
also-
your language. I'm gonna whip you. You know what I mean?
But it's also like it's like a way for us to like die out.
Yeah.
That's what like that's
Why
what
the Mexicans gotta keep their language?
what?
Because they weren't in America.
Why the Mexicans gotta keep it?
They didn't.
We're in America. No,
The Spanish-
they actually
Spaniards.
made what do you call it? English, though.
Yeah, the colonization of Mexico is Spaniards, so it's all Spanish.
Why would they fucking do that to themselves?
Which is crazy.
They got
because,
colonized too, so they did keep the language.
Like they came as soon, I don't know, a little bit after the new people from England was like 1607 or 1601 is when the Spanish came. It's the same time as
This is not
the Spanish.
A lot of background characters going on.
Japanese.
Just pay attention. All right.
Yeah, focus on us.
Chinese.
Chinese, what does it say?
That's what it is.
We'll get to that.
What do you think it says, and what does it actually mean?
We'll get back to that.
You're kind of a game. Okay, sorry. Off topic.
MS-13. The next question was towards Alcatraz. It says, do you think the Indians encamped on Alcatraz have a right to that land? It says, well, I don't know of anybody else who wants it. The fellas who were taken off it sure don't want it back. That includes the guards. So as far as I'm concerned, I think we ought to make a deal with the Indians. They should pay as much for Alcatraz as we paid for Manhattan. I hope they haven't been careless with their 1 point.
How much did they pay for Manhattan?
Okay, that last one was...
All of us it took all of us off guard.
That last one was...
I was thrown off guard by the fact like we have to pay as much as they paid for Manhattan. Like, bro, we literally paid with lives. Like,
Did they buy Manhattan from us? Where's that money at?
we didn't even use one. Free.
Alcatraz was like sacred to the natives on that side, right? Like they
Yeah,
inhabited that.
that's why I know nothing about that. Right
I don't
there,
know.
actually. My
I didn't know
knowledge
we
on
were
that
on
goes, like,
Alcatraz.
That's all you, bro.
That's on me.
You're
That's
from
all
that
you
side.
the
need to know.
historian here.
Yeah.
What? I wasn't born in 1970.
But you know of it. So you're
I know
basically
of
from the
Alcatraz?
time, yeah.
It's Call of Duty.
I'm on knowledge of time.
The most I know
Call it a
about
day.
Alcatraz is like that short YouTube video of like the dude trying to fly out of Alcatraz and like with like
Forza.
self-made wings and then dies immediately.
Well, there's a prison there. Of course, you guys.
My
know
stepmom
that,
tried to
right?
do that with Walmart sacks. She did. She ended up breaking both her feet.
That's wild.
That's with Mary Poppins and some shit.
An umbrella jumps off.
Bro, just
That's just out of nowhere, man.
I can relate. I can relate to
Some
that.
random facts right there. Hey, let me just drop this mom load real quick.
Hey, her choices, man.
I didn't know we inhabited
walked so I
Alcatraz
could
though.
run.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
She couldn't walk, so you could
Yeah,
run.
they took that land back. And they encamped there for
Wheelchair
like,
shit.
damn, I don't even know how many months.
I remember.
But then we'll go back. We'll go to the next question since a lot of people don't know about that. This one goes on reparations and equal treatment. So Playboy asks, how do you feel about the government grant for the university and culture centers that these Indians have demanded for reparations? He says what happened between our forefathers and their forefathers is so far back, right or wrong or indifferent, that I don't see why we owe them anything. I don't know why the government should give them something that I wouldn't be given for me. That wouldn't be given for me.
Your people weren't impressed.
Yeah. You guys just were not liked by the people.
Y'all guys weren't moved off your lands. Land taken from you. Your people killed. I mean, by your own people in the Civil War. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's just fucking, George Washington, fucking horse teeth.
But it was like
What did
treaty
he
rights,
die?
you know what I mean? Like, as in treaty rights, like, we were given, like, healthcare and, like, education and stuff. But that was, like, way later.
Which is valid.
Sometimes they went back on that and they didn't uphold the treaties.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them.
Oh, yeah, they broke every treaty. Like,
Quite a bit.
that's all facts, bro.
Eventually they'll get rid of all of them, but no one's prepared to hear that.
Cherokee Nation likes to think that they're buying land back. Like we're buying every piece of land that we can just so we can have our land back in Oklahoma.
I think
Bought a pond yesterday.
They bought a casino in like Mississippi.
Oh, really?
That's not even Cherokee land. Why are we buying casinos in Mississippi?
You're buying land back, bro.
We're just trying. I was like, they're playing Monopoly over here. I swear to God.
Yeah. We're gonna put a hotel over here.
We put another one over here.
There's my uncle.
This is who's saying this stuff, guys.
That's my brother.
I
You
mean,
never watched the Cowboys? That's a good one.
You know what I was thinking? He doesn't
He was
even
a
look
good actor.
like a good cowboy.
No, but not good.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
He's
don't
great
think
at playing the role.
like yeah, he's
Is
good
he
at
the
playing
one
the role, but like I feel like if he was actually out there, he wouldn't be built like that.
Have you seen
No,
that? No, he'd be
He's just
a little more jacked.
so delusional.
yeah, he would have died a long time ago.
That belly would have got shot. But
Yeah, was he the one that threw that kid in the creek? So I can't swim.
So the next question he said, or the next question they asked is, do you think they've had the same advantages and opportunities that we've had? He says, I'm not going to give you one of those, I was a poor boy and I pulled myself up from my bootstrap stories. But I've gone without a meal or two in my life, and still I don't accept the government to turn over any of its territory to me. Hard times aren't something I can blame my fellow citizens for. Years ago, I don't have all the opportunities, neither. But you can't whine because somebody else got a good break and you didn't. Like these Indians are. We'll all be on a reservation soon if the socialists keep subsidizing groups like them with our tax money.
wait, let me look at that one more time.
Yeah, but I had a wild statement right there, man.
What is it? I'm not gonna give you one of those I was poor boy and pulled myself up by my bootstraps race, but I've gone without a meal or two in my life. What? Well, he's trying to compare missing a meal or two to the oppression that we had, bro. I think that's a wild statement.
I ate ramens for 3 years.
I
Why
just
would you do that to yourself?
Think I wanted to?
I don't know, man.
Those are good.
Nah, sometimes growing up on the res, all you had was like the Kamad cheese and then the like
That was the
peanut
best
butter
cheese,
tortilla.
and
bro.
some bologna, and then you just roll
Peanut
that
butter
up, and that's your
crackers.
dinner. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
That was the best.
Some Ritz crackers and some peanut butter.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
white
Ritz
cans with
crackers?
nothing on it.
Low key, is he dead?
Yeah.
Nah, he's alive and well, bro.
He's a fucking vampire.
I'm like, he's
bro.
Trump, bro.
Okay, well,
He was rocking
He
Trump.
died in 1979.
oh, so not. So once
So
the
he died a few years
once
after
the
that
natives
interview,
heard the
honestly.
interview,
That's
they
karma.
went after him.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
So
But
this is what you
no.
said.
Maybe he deserved it.
How'd he die?
How did he die? Yeah, how did he die?
How did John Wayne die?
Murdered by natives. Scalped.
How did John Wayne die?
Maybe they got him.
Scalped alive.
They definitely
Stomach cancer.
Stomach cancer.
I knew it. I said shot in the stomach, but
Yes, he got
He
shot in
got
the stomach.
cancer from this bullet.
This bullet gave him cancer, bro.
got him. I diagnosed him.
It's from all
called it. You know.
it's from all the Taco Bell he was eating, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, in the
that's why,
70s,
that's what I was
it's
talking about his
crazy.
stomach.
He's definitely got some wild statements, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry for talking shit about you in the grave, bro.
But I just think.
I mean, do you think he was racist?
No, I just think that he's just white. Ignorant.
yeah, there's just a lot of
Uninformed.
ignorance and like
Yeah.
misinformation too.
There wasn't really much you could do back there with the information. There wasn't a like ready source that you can go to like
Yeah, it's
learn.
like you can't lie. Like his parents probably raised him to just think that like natives are just whining about their unfortunate lives.
Also goes with like the
They
environment
gotta
you're in.
work hard.
He's
Work
from
hard
a
on the
primarily
ranch, you know.
probably
Especially
white
if you
environment.
grew up on a ranch, bro. That's like their whole mentality is like get up at the crack of dawn, you go take care of your business, you come home, eat, then you go back out, take care of more business, come back home, eat, go to bed, do it again.
Eat, sleep, work the farm. Eat, sleep, work the farm. Have a couple kids. Eat, sleep, work the farm.
But in some more interviews he did,
Because our ranch hands are not kids.
it was stated that he actually said, I believe in white supremacy.
Oh,
Oh, wait. Where's this quoted from? Where's this quoted from, actually?
him.
Playboy? Again?
Another one and another where he talks about Midnight Cowboy, a story about two fags.
Well, that's a crazy statement.
So,
Okay.
2 cigarettes? You guys don't understand. Okay.
Broad.
That's what it, like they say in like
is it French?
UK. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
So do you think his name
Friends.
is...
Could have said that before
Mary
we gave our
Morrison?
little.
Yeah.
I could... All the statements
No,
he
he's
said,
racist.
I'm like, nah, he's racist.
Yeah.
White supremacy. And we were giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, we're all like, yeah.
You could tell he didn't care about natives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though
for
he was
sure.
a Western icon, he could
Yeah. But in
Hey,
the
he was a
Western,
true cowboy,
if you ever
yeah,
watch the
yeah.
Western icons, it's like
They don't care about
all
names
of
at
the
all.
native, like
They're
I
trying to
said,
kill it, man.
they're using their native languages, English played backwards. So they obviously didn't care. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they just needed a role.
Because I was like the
They needed a
40s and
they needed a bad
50s,
guy.
His movies. But then there's also some other movies like Hombre, where they actually like respected Native people.
I bet you
But were
felt
they
very
actually
awkward.
even native in the movie?
No, they weren't Native in the movies.
They were just painted white people painted
They're
brown.
just- yeah.
But it was like other westerns were like Hombre was like he was captured by natives, raised by natives, so he protected the natives.
So like,
So you could say the same thing with Dancing with Wolves.
So I mean,
Yeah. He's the new John Wayne.
do you think Kevin
wild
Costner is
statement. Now,
racist?
Kevin Costner does a lot for Native Americans. If you look into it,
He said Kevin Costner says he doesn't like natives.
They don't know how to act.
He can fight me. He can.
He was a Yellowstone, bro.
I don't care.
Dances with
I don't know. I'll bring Xander with me.
You gonna back him up?
Go to every
Make sure
time.
no one jumps
Xander
in.
will be there, okay? I'll make sure of it.
He's got my back, guys. Next thing you know, you see Xander doing
Walking
I'll
away.
just stand there.
the Claudia the Chance of Meatballs run.
Bet with somebody. What you got?
I got 20 on that guy.
with his hands back.
Yeah, guys. John
I
Wayne,
got 20 on the ground.
Race.
pretty racist. You know, you don't say that.
We'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but it's kind of racist.
I was kind of lenient on it, and then he said that thing, and then
White supremacy? Yep.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
everything
Yeah.
was going.
Do you think it's still alive today?
Well,
White supremacy?
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
white supremacy, yeah. Racism? Yeah, I think it's a thing today too.
Watch me try to fucking bum rush
I'm
the
a little
fucking.
bit racist.
No, my bad.
You know what I heard though?
He's a little bit.
a little bit of a racist.
Everyone's a
myself.
little racist.
Let me try to rush the
Everyone-
Capitol.
whether or not
See
they
if I
want
get
it.
Yeah,
arrested.
it was
Kept in
kind of
jail.
just built into you. You know what I mean?
If I rush the
You see a
Capitol, I'm
different
getting
color, you
sent
say
to
it. You know.
Ecuador or somewhere.
That's not it's a pretty valid take.
Like what were we taught as kids? Red, orange, blue,
Black.
Oh my
tan. Like
Tan?
Trump is orange, honestly.
That is not a healthy skin color.
dude,
White mocha? White?
dude's like peach,
Salmon.
like the orange peach.
Salmon color.
He's Dimitri's shirt.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. What do you think about Trump reclaiming Columbus Day back?
As what? As Columbus Day?
Yeah, he wants to get rid of
That was fucking
indigenous,
That was Trump.
American indigenous.
No,
Day.
but here's the thing. I already said that. Like, white America hates the fact that they have to do as much as they have to do for Native Americans. So slowly, within the next 10 to 15 years, it's all going to go away. All the treaties, everything. We're going to be all one. No one's ever
New World
prepared
The
Order.
for
melting pot.
that, pretty much.
Yeah.
My family raised me on that, though. They're like, you have to be self-sustaining. You can't depend on anything that's actually given to us. Like, you actually have to go out and, like, go get a credit score, go get some health insurance, go get actual insurance.
You have to be white.
Yeah, pretty much. Adapt to the white world.
Be
'cause
white
it's not
to
going to
survive.
adapt to you. Has it ever adapted to us?
Good point.
World War.
Crickets, man.
Yeah, and on that note,
Code talkers.
we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Already?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
right.
And he was just getting into the racist.
Key part of the thing.
I just told him I was racist. Gotta talk about it.
John Wayne is racist,
Dimitri's partly racist.
and
Me?
Xander's fully racist.
Only to whites.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining
did I
us. We'll see
do?
you guys Thursday, and this is not an exit.